You're welcome to my beauty creations. So today we'll be making this beautiful bubu, okay? And these are the fabric I will be using. This is my African print, and this is sequence fabric, okay? So I'll put my sequence fabric aside and go ahead to fold African prints. So I have 6 yards here. So I'm going to just cut out what I need for my bubu out of the 6 yards, okay? Before folding. So I'm going to cut out what I need before going ahead to fold. So I'll just place this aside. So right now, so the full length of the gown is 60 inches, okay, plus 1 inch, that is 61 inches. So now I'm going to measure from this other side of my African print, because as for this side we have just 45 inches here. So from this side of my African print, I'm going to measure 61 inches, then I'll fold it from that 61 inches to get my back and front, okay? So let me do that so that you see what I need. So I'll just measure from this point. I'll measure 61 inches. So my tape stops at 60 inches. So the remaining, I'll take that as, for hemming, okay? So at this point now, I'll fold my fabric like so. Let me fold on the wrong side so that I can mark my job. I'll fold it so I'll have for the front and for the back. So when I fold it, wherever it gets to, I'll cut out the remaining, okay? And we will work with what we need. This is what I need for my bubu, front and the back. So I'm going to cut it out at this point and just keep the rest of the fabric, okay? So that's what I'll do. So having cut out the fabric that I need, now is into fold into 2. So I'm going to fold it again, okay, making it into 4. I'm going to fold this way again, okay, making sure that all the edges are meeting like so. So on this side I have the folded edge, and this side as well is folded. So this will have the openings, okay? And this is the area that will have our sleeve. So make sure you fold it equally. So by the time you have folded your fabric evenly, the next thing is to place your measurements, okay? So now we will place the vertical measurement, and the only vertical measurement we actually need here after taking the full length is the hip point, okay? And we're not marking directly at the hip point. Just watch what I'll do. Just follow what I'm doing, okay? So I'll place my tape from the beginning here. I'll mark at the hip point, okay? So the hip point in this case is 25. But to add extra 5 inches, okay, because that's where the cowl will be starting from. I've made a kaftan tutorial here, a cowl kaftan tutorial, whereby the cowl started from the new area. But in this case, we don't want it to get to the new area, okay? So from the hip point, you add extra 5 to 6 inches, depending on what you want, how you want it, okay? So I think I should add 5 inches, because the new point is actually at 38. So from my hip, I'll count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And it's okay here, okay? So 5 inches from the hip point is what I'm marking. This will have a cowl effect. So it depends on what you want. If you want it starting from your new point, just go ahead and do what you want, okay? So in this case, you want it to just start like after the hip area, like under the hip, okay? Yes, like under the hip. So let me just make it at 31. That's to come down a little bit. So I'm adding 6 inches from the hip, okay? 6 inches from the hip. So this is it. So I'm going to mark it. I'm going to just mark it out. So I'm actually marking the chalk hard so that you can see the markings clearly. So by the time you have marked this point, the next thing now is the neck width and neck depth. So we're using neck width of 3 inches, okay? Neck width of 3 inches, and the neck depth for the back is 1 inch, okay? 1 inch. And in this case, for the front is 7 inches. So depending on what you want. In this case, I want 7 inches for my neck depth. Okay. Yes. So now we'll connect the neck line for the back. And for the front as well, we'll make a V-neck. From the neck width to the 7 inches, we'll make a V-neck. Like so. So this is it, okay? So at this point where I marked my V-neck, I'll be going in by 2 inches. So just mark 2 inches inward, and we'll keep marking these 2 inches all the way down. We'll mark it all the way down, okay? So after marking it, just connect it. So I connected it up to this 7 inches here. Okay, so from this point now, just connect it to the neck width. Okay, actually this line I made here is just for, you know, a guide. Actually from this 2 inches now, we have to connect it back to this neck width. Okay, so just connect it to the neck width like so. Okay, so you're just going to connect it to the neck width. After you have done this, it's now time to create our sleeve opening and other part of the bubu. But we'll first of all mark our shoulder slants. Okay, so for the shoulder slants, we are going to come down by 1 inch here. Now, because I'll be making a puff sleeve, what I actually have here will not be enough for my sleeve. Okay, so to know what you need or what you have for your sleeve, you're going to just place your shoulder measurement. In this case, the shoulder is 14 divided by 2, that is 7. Okay, you place your shoulder measurement, and from your shoulder measurement, you measure what you have here, if it is enough for your sleeve. Okay, so the length of my sleeve is actually 13 inches. Okay, but because of that balloon effect, I need to have extra here, so that by the time I fix my elastic and pull it up, it will give that balloon effect. So I need 13 inches plus extra 5 inches. This 13 inches, so I need extra 5 inches here. That is to say, I'm going to actually join fabric to get that extra 5 inches. Okay, so before that, I can still take my shoulder slant by just coming down here by ½ inch. Okay, normally I'm supposed to come down by 1 inch, but if it were to be like I have added my 5 inches, if I mark my shoulder slant of 1 inch from that point, if I start slanting it at this point, I won't get up to 1 inch. I don't know if you understand. Like if I mark 1 inch here now and I start slanting it to my shoulder, to my neck width, you see that as it is coming up, it is reducing. So instead of marking 1 inch here, I would mark ½ inch. Okay, for my shoulder slope, I would mark ½ inch, then connect it to the neck width. So I hope that makes sense. Okay, so I'll just connect it to the neck width. So by the time I add the extra fabric, I'm going to slant it by 1 inch. So these are shoulder slant. Okay, now from this shoulder slant, we'll place our sleeve opening. That is a round sleeve. Now I said it's going to be a balloon sleeve, meaning we'll need it to be big, so that by the time we fix the elastic and pull it to give us that puffiness. Okay, so in this case now, I'm going to like use around 20 inches or from 15 to 20 inches, so depending, because the round sleeve is 12. Okay, so to get a very good balloon, we should have up to 3 times of what we have here in total. But because our fabric is folded, whatever we have, okay, let's say 3 times 12. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. We have like 36. Okay, so because our fabric is on fold, by the time we divide this, we'll be having around 18 inches. Okay, so that's what I will use. I hope this is clear. I said you take your round sleeve, okay, where you want the sleeve to get to, the round measurement of that point, you should use at least 3 times that measurement. And because the fabric is on fold, I divided that measurement by 2. Okay, so I hope it is clear. So at one side of it to have one and one side of it to have the other. So I don't know if that's clear, but 18 inches is what I'm going to use here. Okay, for the sleeve opening. So even without calculating anything, you can just figure it out yourself. Okay, so you can use about 15 to 16, 18, 20, like that, depending on how full you want the balloon to be. Okay, so that is the marking there. Now I'm going to come in here by 1 inch. Actually, I should come in by more than 1 inch, but remember I'll be having like extra 5 inches added here. Okay, from this point I'll be adding like extra 5 inches. So from that point to this point is already 5. Okay, so if I come in by 1 inch, it means I'm coming in by 6 inches from the full length of my sleeve. Okay, so this, it means I'm coming in by 1 inch. So it depends on what you want. Okay, so you can come in by 1 and by 5 inches, 3 inches, whatever. So that will be your armhole. So I hope you understand. So let me just add extra. Let me just make it 2 inches. Let me make it 2 inches. So to be a bit deep. Okay, so I hope you understand. So to be a bit deep. So let's see. If I add 5 inches from here, if I add 5 inches from here, so this is how wide the sleeve will be. That is how long the sleeve will be before it cuts into the bubu. So I hope that is clear. So by the time you have marked this, the next thing is to come to this point. Okay, remember these points, the hip points plus extra 6 inches. These are going to create our cowl effect. So here you're going to place your hip circumference divided by 4 plus the ease. So I'm using 4 inches for my ease and seam allowance. Okay, that's 3 inches for the ease and 1 inch for seam allowance. So here the hip circumference divided by 4 is 10.5. 10.5. Okay, so I'll mark it plus 4 inches, plus 4 inches. So we have it here. Okay, so by the time you have marked this now, you also mark the measurement at your head. Okay, so if you want it a bit straight because of the slit, you're going to minus 1 inch from this. Okay, then if you want it very pencil, you minus 2 inches. Okay, so if there's not going to be slit at the front, the same measurement you have here is what you're going to place at the lower point. But because of the slit, you want it to be straight at the lower point, you're going to measure what you have here and minus 1 inch from it. Okay, here I have 14.5 inches. So when I minus 1 inch from it, it will be 13.5 inches, and that is what I'll be marking at the lower part here. 13.5. Okay, so that's what I'll be marking here. So right now I'll connect this point to this point. Yes, I'll just connect like so. Okay, so when you have connected like this, it's now time to draw a cowl effect. So you're going to connect from this point to this point that you came in. I'm just going to connect it this way. Okay, so if you actually want the cowl to be so much, you can reduce what you have here. You can take like 1 inch, so that when you draw it, it will come out very well. Okay, to come out more. So I think I should just use 1 inch. So 1 inch is okay, since I still have extra fabric to add here. So from this point now, I just make a curve to meet this point here. So it's just something you can just do as you want, the way you want it. Okay, there's no specific rule to this. Just draw it as you want it to be, the shape you want. So this is mine. So just draw it to meet this point. Okay, so when you have met this point and this point, you just give it a curve. So here you're just going to curve it. You're going to just curve it. You don't want that sharp edge. So it's going to curve into the slit, and this way and this side as well is going to just curve into this line. Okay, just curve it like so, and you have it. Okay, so I hope this is clear. Hope you can see what we have here. So now I'll go ahead and cut it. So we're going to first of all cut out the back. By the time we cut out the back, we'll remove it, then cut the front. Okay, so that is just it. Let me cut it out. So this is it. I've cut it out, as you can see. Okay, so I'll also add my sleeve here. Remember, I have extra 5 inches to have here, so let me cut what I need for that part. So the remaining fabric that I cut out from this part, I will just place it here as it is folded. Okay, and use it to make up the sleeve. So let me just even it out here. So I just marked my chalk so I can even it out there. Okay, then I'll just place this one on that line. Just place it on the line. Then I'll also replace my shoulder slope that I cut out. Okay, so this is the shoulder slope that I cut out here. I'll just place it back there so that I can mark my 1 inch. This is, I hope you can see this. Okay, so the shoulder slant that I cut out, I just placed it so it to be a guide for me to slant my shoulder from here. So I just hope you understand what I'm doing. So from this point, I'll mark my 1 inch for shoulder slant. Then I'll connect it back to this line. Okay, so you can see how it has gone now. So you can see what we have now. Okay, so that is it for our shoulder slant. You can see that it's now matching up. So from this point, I would measure what I need. Okay, so I said 5 inches, but I consider the fact that I would fold and create casing for my elastic. Okay, so let me just use 6 inches. Let me use 6 inches because I really want the sleeve to be full and long. At least by the time I push it up, it should get to the elbow. To get to the elbow, okay? So that is what I want. So this is it. I would connect here. And now I would cut it out. So can you now see the sleeve, okay, how it is right now? So, and the shape will now have. So I'm going to just pin it down, then I'll stitch it later. So by the time I pin it down, I'll remove the back and cut out the front, okay? So I have pinned it down the way I would stitch it. So the next thing now is to remove our back piece, okay? Then we'll cut out the front. So this is our back piece here. So just carefully remove it. But before I remove it, I'll notch the center back at once. So we'll be needing it later on. So just notch it, then you remove. So by the time you move your center back, you fold back the front and you cut out what you need to cut out, which is the. So right now, I'll go ahead and cut out the front the way I marked it, okay? So I have cut out the front. Now we're going to join the sleeve. So after joining the sleeve, I will now join the front and the back at the shoulder, okay? So let me do that and we'll proceed to make the lapel, okay? 1, 2, go. So I've gone ahead to join it at the shoulder and I've joined the sleeve. So you can see it's not even so obvious that I joined this sleeve here. So that's because I followed the pattern of the fabric, okay, and I've ironed it. And I've also stitched the shoulder. So we'll now have a front and back, but I've not closed the side yet. So I'll measure what I have here. That is this opening. So remember I notched my neck line at the back, okay. So that is for and where we are joining the lapel. That's where we're starting from. So what I was doing is just to measure this opening from one point, okay, to the other point. That is, I'll measure from this side all round to this other side. So by the time I measure it, I'll use that to cut on my sequence fabric, okay. So I know that the length will be very long, so I'll have to join this to get it. Let's just measure it. So I measured it all around and I got 130. Okay, definitely I exhausted my tape. So by the time I got to 60, I continued from that part, measured on that 60 and made it 10. So that is 130 all around. Okay, so I would go ahead to cut that on my sequence fabric. So let's just put this one aside. So now I'll cut on my sequence fabric. So this side of the sequence fabric is stretchy, while this side is not stretchy, okay. So and because I will not be adding ST to it, I will cut it on this side that is not stretchy. That is to say, this side that is not stretchy will be the side I would use as my lapel. So it's going to lie like this instead of like this, okay, that's stretchy. So if you want to use this stretchy side, you have to iron ST to read side to be firm, okay. So but I don't want to use ST. So and this side would have been better for me. That is because it's longer. So like 2 of it would have been okay. But since I'm cutting from this side, I'll have to cut like 3 of it and join it. So I need 5 inches. The width will be 5 inches. So remember that what to cut out from our fabric here is 2 inches on fold, okay, 2 inches on fold, and that is 4 inches. So we're going to cut 5 inches here because we need a ½ inch. the half inch to join the lapel back to the dress. Okay, so that is why we'll be cutting 5 inches. So I would remove this one. I don't need this one, only the sequence that I need. So when I move that one, I would measure 5 inches and cut it all the way down. Measure another 5 inches. So about 3 will be enough for me, because what we have here is so we have like 39 inches here. So about 3 will be okay for me. So let me go ahead and cut it out and join it, okay, into a straight strip, that into a long strip. So first of all, remove this one. So I'm done cutting what I need, okay? So I have 3 of them here. I'll go ahead and join them together. So I'll join them together. Then after joining them, I would fold like this, okay? I'll fold them like this and close it up here so that it will be easy for me to work with, okay? So let me do just that. So I've prepared my sequence, okay? And this is it. So I actually added extra to make it longer, because it's better you have excess than shortage, okay? So by the time you're done stitching it, anyone that remains, you cut it out, okay? So it's better that way. So after joining the sequence, I then went ahead to fold it, as you can see. So I folded it like this, okay? Now I also cut out the one I'll be placing at the shoulder, okay? So I first of all cut out 4 inches, then folded half inch on this side, folded half inch on this side, and what we have left here is 3 inches, okay? So I just folded it this way because I know that the stitch will not show since I'm working with sequence. So this is what I will do. I'll go ahead and place it at the shoulder, where we stitched our shoulder slope, our shoulder slant. That is where I will place it like this. Okay, so for the longness, it's just what you have from here to the hem of your sleeve like this. So by the time I finish stitching it, I'll cut it out. So I'll go ahead and top stitch on it this way, and I'll do same for the other side. So I hope you understand. So it's going to be like this at the shoulder. Then we'll make our balloon sleeve, okay? Stitch this place, create our the casing for the elastic, the fixing elastic. So that is it for this one. Then for this other one, I would fix it starting from the back neckline. Remember, I notched my back neck. So I'll fold this into 2 and find the midpoint, find the center of it, okay? So that is what I'll do. So for this lapel, you can use any fabric of your choice. You can use ashoke, you can use Mikado fabric, you can use satin, okay? It all depends on your choice. So I decided to use sequin, though some people say sequin can be rough on the skin and then can scratch your skin and all that, but this very one is not so hard. It's okay. So because you have to, it has to come at the neck area, so you need to also consider the fabric you're using. Make sure it's something you are comfortable with. So this one is okay for me, so that's why I'm using it. So just fold it and bend it and find the midpoint. That is where we are going to start stitching from. So I have the midpoint here, okay? So this is my midpoint. So I'm going to place it at the part I notched on my neckline. So I'm going to place it like so, and I'll pin it down there. So I'll go ahead and stitch it, starting from this back point to the other side, and from this side to the other side as well. So after stitching, I'm going to knitting up the edges with bias tape. Okay, so I'm going to use bias tape to knitting up the edges. But before I stitch this, I'll go ahead and fix the one I want to fix here, so that everything would go inside, okay? So I'll first of all fix this one at the shoulder here before stitching this. So let me do that and it will be clearer to you, okay? So I've gone ahead to stitch everything. So I've stitched this one all around. Then remember I said I'm going to fix the one at the shoulder before stitching it, and I did that. I also created my space, that is the casing for my elastic here, okay? So I'm going to pass my elastic through, and this is the elastic I'll be using. So I'll measure my sleeve round, okay? That is the round sleeve. I'll take the measurement, that is 12 inches. So the round sleeve is 12 inches, but I would measure 10. So it's to be firm, it's very, very elastic. So I'll measure 10 inches. That is what I would pass through my elastic, okay? So 10 inches is what I will use because it's still very, very elastic. So I'll cut that. So I'll cut two of it and pass it through here with my safety pin, okay? So that's what I'll do. So I'll just cut two of it. So this is for my sleeve, okay? So the next thing now, the reason I actually use this method of fixing this lapel is because I'll be having zipper here. If not, there's another neater way of closing your lapel. I'll be making another video on that, okay? When I'm making another bubu, I would do that. So there's another way of closing up this lapel that the stitch would be in between. That is, the stitch will be inside. But because I want to fix zipper to this, that is why I used this method, okay? So I would also mark where my slit would be. So by the time I mark where I would have my slit, I'll stitch it up from that point, okay? Then stop where I want my zipper to be, okay? Then okay, let me take that again. First of all, I would measure my neckline. That is, I'll mark my neckline. So from my shoulder here, 7 inches was what I took, but I think 7 inches would be too high. To be too high for me. So another way of doing this, you can measure from the center of your back all the way to your front. Okay, so whatever it gives you, you would use that. Okay, so for me, it gave me 12. That is from center of your back. You measure around through your shoulder and to your neck where you want it to be. So for me, it gave me 12 inches, which is at this point, and I think this is okay. But I think I should make it 11. I mean 13. Okay, yeah, 13 inches is somewhere here. So this 13 inches. So I believe this is good as well. So let me just mark it. So I just mark there. Okay, so that is okay for the neck. So let me just use that 12 inches so that it won't be too opened. Let me just use the 12 inches, okay? So it's okay here. So this is how I will fix my zipper from. So I'm actually fixing zipper to this because I'm breastfeeding. So I want to be able to still breastfeed my baby even while I put on this um kaftan, okay, or this bubu. So I'll place my zipper. So this is where my zipper will get to. So I'll just mark here. Okay, I'll mark here. So I'll close it up from here to where I want my slit to get to. And this is how I'll close it. I'll just place one on the other and top stitch it. Okay, just pinch a pinch of it. This one on this one. I hope you can see what I'm doing. I'll just place this one on this other one. Just like quarter of an inch. Okay, like quarter of an inch is okay. Then I'll stitch it to where my slit will get to. So my slit will get to around from my shoulder to my nail. Okay, from my shoulder to my nail, which is at 38 inches. So this is where the slit will start. My slit open will start here at my nail. Okay, so from this point to this point, I'll just top stitch it a little bit. Okay, so I'll now have my opening for my zipper. So for fixing the zipper, I'll just place it this way. Okay, and I will stitch on it like this. I just place my zipper inside like this and I'll top stitch. Yes, since I'm using sequence fabric, the stitches will not show. So I'll just top stitch and I'll do it in such a way that it would, overlap a little bit so that the zipper teeth would not show. I don't want the zipper teeth to show. So I want it to overlap a little bit and the zipper will be hidden inside. So that is what I would do. So by the time I'm done fixing my zipper, I would fix my elastic, then close up the sides. Okay, turn it to the other side, close up the sides and hem the lower part. So let me do that and it will be clearer to you. Okay, so I'm done fixing my zipper. Okay, so this is it. So I'm actually doing this because I'm breastfeeding. That is why I fix zipper in mine. So you can actually sew this without zipper, and there's a perfect way of closing up your lapel that appears very, very neat. Okay, so this is it, and this is my slit. Okay, so I will go ahead and use bias tape to finish up the inside. Now I want to fix rope for creating that fitting effect. at the waist, okay, that is making it look fitted in front. So I'll do that. Also, I have fixed my elastic at the sleeve, and you can see what we have. So after fixing my rope, I'll go ahead and notch the inside, then iron it very well. I've not ironed it, so you need to notch this part so that everything can come out well. So let me turn it to the other side. So this is the inside, okay? So I'll notch this part. You can see I've stitched by my 1 inch, same as that ones. So I'll notch this point and this point so that to relax. Then I'll give it a good press, okay? Now for our rope, you're just going to measure your waist point. From your shoulder, you measure your waist point, okay? So this is the waist point. You do same on this side. So the waist point here is 17 inches. So you mark your waist point, okay? Now you also determine the midpoint of your lapel, like you measure your lapel and you find the midpoint, okay? So when you have just marked this point, the next thing you take your round waist, divide by 4. Your round waist divide by 4. Whatever you get, you're going to measure it from this midpoint, okay? That's where you place your rope. So I've made my rope for tying, okay? So this will give you that fitted effect. So my rope measures 30 inches long. So actually it's 29 now, okay, 30 inches long, and the width before I stitched it was 2 inches. So I folded it and stitched by 1/4 of an inch, then turned it. So that's how I got this, okay? So now from this center point here, you place your waist divide by 4. So for me it is 9 inches. So I'll measure 9 inches and I'll mark it, okay? I'll measure 9 inches from here. Let me use 8.5 because I actually measured the waist loosely. So I'll use 8.5. This is it here. And 8.5. This is it here. Okay, so just measure your waist firmly, depending on what you want. Me, I don't want it to be tight, sha. So by the time you have done that, you're now going to place your rope there. Okay, so I'll pin it down. I'll pin it down. Make sure you're pinning it only to the front. So you just go ahead and you stitch. Just stitch it there. So do same to this side. So you go ahead and stitch it. So this is what we use to tie it at the back, and we'll have that fitted effect in front, okay? So there's something I want to try. I want to also fix belt at the back to see if I can tie that on the back and tie that on the front and achieve fitted look at the front and fitted look at the back as well. So it's just something I want to try. But I know that if I actually want this to be fitted, I can stitch it the way we stitch butterfly. Like just give it a stitch here and a stitch here. Then it will just be fitted while I still have my cowl flowing, just like the way we stitch butterfly. But I don't want it that way because that will give it a permanent style. So I want, if you want to wear it free, you can wear it free. If you want to wear it fitted, you can wear it fitted. So let me try adding the rope at the back as well to see what it's going to be. If it's going to be fine, that is okay. If it's not fine, we can remove it. So let me do that. So I'll still mark the midpoint of the back. So you can either place it this way and find the midpoint, or you measure from one point to the other and find the midpoint, whichever way you want to do it. So let me just try something new, okay? So first of all, I'll measure from my shoulder to the waist point, okay? So this is it. Then I'll find the midpoint of the dress from one seam to the other. I'll measure. Then I'll fold my tape towards that part, and this is my midpoint, okay? So from this midpoint now, I'll measure my waist divided by 4, which is 8.5. From here, I'll mark 8.5. Then I'll fix my rope here and here, which is at the waistline, okay? So make sure it's at the waistline you're fixing it, so when you pull it, it will be fitted. So let me fix my rope back. I make another rope as well. So these are the ropes. I'll go ahead and pin them down and also stitch. So it's going this way. This one is going this way. So this is something I just want to try to see how it is. If it is okay, we'll go with it. If it is not, then I'll remove the rope. So I'll go ahead and stitch the rope. So make sure you're stitching with a matching color thread so as to not show. So that is it, okay? So let me go ahead and you stitch the rope, then you see the final look of this dress. Okay, so there are two ways I think we can do this. You can tie from the front to the back. That is, if you tie, you can tie it from the front to the back, then this one from the back to the front, or you tie this one at the sides here, and this other two at the sides as well. So you know your body, it will not be like this. You will not be tying the clothes. You'll be tying it around your body because your body will be inside the clothes. So the belt will be tied around your body and not bringing the clothes together like this. I hope it is clear. So I'll show you how to tie it in case it will be all right. So let me go ahead and stitch it. Okay, let me go ahead and stitch it. Alright guys, so this is it, and then at this point, if you haven't liked this video, please give it a like and subscribe to this channel if you haven't done so. Don't forget to turn on the notification bell so that whenever I upload a new video, you'll be among those that will be notified. So thank you for doing that. So this is the style, this is how it looks on me, and this is the sleeve, so I can pull it down if I want or pull it up to get that balloon full effect. Okay, so that is it. Okay, hope you like it, and I hope this is beautiful. So right now, let me show you the back. Okay, so this is it. Okay, see how free, and I think this is beautiful. Okay, yeah, this is beautiful as well. So this is the front again, and then see the slits. Okay, so I want to show you how to tie the rope. So I open my zipper. So this is the front rope, and the back rope is there as well. Okay, so that's the back rope. So for the front, I'll just take it over to the back. That is the two ropes. Okay, I'll take them over to the back and tie them together. Okay, yeah, and that is it. So for this, it will give fitting at the front, just as you can see. Okay, so you can see the fitting there. So that is it when you tie the rope at the back. Okay, so I would also tie it. Okay, this is the back. You can see it is still free. So I want to also tie the one I created for the back to see what it looks like. So you can actually tie it at the back, but I decided to tie the both of them at the side. Okay, so in that way it is easier for you to tie. So that is for the back and that is for the front. So I'll just tie the both of them together at the side, just like you can see. Okay, so that is actually what I will do, so that we would have fitting both in the front and at the back as well. So let me just tie it and you see what we have there. Okay, so I'll zip up my dress now. So I just put on the black thing in there because I want to show you this illustration. Okay, definitely I want to put on something long so I do not show at the slit area. So this is it for the front. You can see the fitting, yes, and at the back you can see that it's now fitted at the back. So guys, tell me your opinion. What do you think? Is it good this way, or is it better when it is free? Okay, so for me, I don't know. Just tell me what you think in the comment section. Do you think it is better when it is free at the front? That is when it is fitted at the front and free at the back. Okay, so drop your opinion in the comment section. Yeah, I would appreciate that. Okay, so thank you so much for watching this video. I'd love to see you in my next video. So if you haven't subscribed, please subscribe and give this video a like. Okay, yes, thank you. Give it a like, and see you in my next video. Remain blessed. Bye.